How
So
are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How have your games been?
Decent. I've been
Decent.
doing good.
All right, all right. What made you want to get
Honestly, I had a
some?
kid.
What made you want to get some coaching and stuff?
Hmm. What made me want to get some coaching? That's a good question. Honestly, first off, because it's free.
True. Fair
Second
enough.
thing is that, um, I mean, you always get some information that you don't get anywhere else. You
Okay.
can you can scour all of YouTube. You won't find the information that you'll get from a coach. The third thing is that um it's one-on-one help. He's gonna help you with stuff that you struggle with, and I struggle with a lot of stuff that nobody else struggles with.
That's true.
It's
hmm
plugged.
And what exactly did you want me to help you with today?
Mentality. Okay, hold on, my
hmm
cat's yelling again. So mentality, as I was saying. So okay, let me run you back through a time, as they say. I think I'm not sure. Um, I realized very early on that I was extremely competitive. I loved competition. Also, a little bit of strategy, which is what made me like Valorant a lot. It has a mix of both competition and strategy.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you're filming?
Hmm.
Are you recording?
Yes.
Hi, YouTube. Okay, so uh, very early on, as I said, I liked competition and strategy. So when I started playing Valorant, I felt like I could be really good at it. So I started like really putting the time in it and practicing and like my mechanics right now, I believe strongly that my mechanics are somebody of like ascendant-ish because I put in so much time in it.
hmm
However, I also started realizing that I hate losing. Losing, when I lose, it really does hurt. And the more I started like seeing like I started like learning from myself and understanding myself, I started knowing like I understood that I wasn't like just a random casual person. I was what people would might call a perfectionist, and I thought it was
hmm
super cool. Oh man, I'm trying to be as perfect as possible in everything. I want my mechanics to be perfect. I want my reaction time to be perfect. I want to have a game sense of a perfect player. Um, in my case, because I know I can get better, I became extremely harsh on myself. And what would that result into is if I miss a shot that I knew I could have hit, if it's my mistake, I would put myself in a situation where I make harsh comments on what happened to myself. And after that would happen, the next shot would be I'd be a little bit more scared to shoot it, and then when I also miss it, I would be more mad up to myself, and then the next shot I would be more mad, and I would make more mistakes, and it would go on until you'd see me having the status of plat 3 playing like a bronze in a diamond lobby.
hmm
So I'd start the game very strong with like 10 kills. I'm carrying the team as a sentinel, and then I'd finish the game with 11 kills.
Damn. Okay.
So that's how it is.
hmm And this still happens to you?
More or less.
What do you mean?
Like sometimes if I'm playing with a team and we're just having fun and I'm laughing, if I miss a shot, I won't have the time to think about it. It's just I'm overthinking everything, right? If I have a team and they're just seeing me miss, that they'd laugh, they'd make fun of me. I'd make fun of them when they miss. Like we're just having a fun time, you know?
hmm
But if I'm solo queuing and I'm like, okay, okay, I got this, let's do this, and then I still miss, this is when I'm like, oh my god, you're so ass. What are you doing? You saw the guy. All you had to do is just click.
hmm
That's basically it.
Okay, and what part of this do you want me to help with? You want to know what I think or what I would do about.
So, okay, first off, I want you to tell me like what do you think about it? That's one. Two. Yeah, exactly. What can I do
Mhm.
about it? Because I realized that it's I don't know if the right word is toxic, but like it's such a bad behavior to have because like my mentality would be all the way up, and by the end of the game it'd be all the way down, and then I would queue into another game, and my mentality is already down on the floor.
Mhm. Okay, cool. Mm-mm-mm. Come look at my stream.
I am gonna watch. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. There you go. I'm watching it.
Okay, so you know how when you're doing really good, it feels like there's somebody else that's playing that's not you?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's real. Assume it's real. So that you have two selves inside of you, right? One of them is the one that is kind of like, this is your conscious mind. You're the thinker, the planner, analysis, right? And
Okay.
then there's this other one right here. And this one is the kind of subconscious mind. And this is kind of like flow, creativity, creativity. What else could you describe this as? It's effortlessness, I guess, right? So,
Yeah.
so, so here's the thing. Um, when you perform your best is likely when this one has the most control over what's happening.
Hmm.
Okay? And when you go into your mind and you say something like, what are you doing? All you had to do was click. Which of these two selves do you think is saying that?
The first one.
Yeah, definitely the first one, right? Definitely this first one that says that. So, why do you think? Well, first of all, what do you think of this? Like, how do you understand this?
Well, what? Okay, so, hmm, damn. I feel like between those two, there's a connection, and the connection is basically a mental connection in some way.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, because when you're saying that second self doesn't like it's just like subconscious, I feel like that's a bit untrue because like when I'm in this state where I'm just hitting shots, my brain is not just like being subconscious, it's being I don't know how to say it's being overconscious. Like I'm just thinking of every single possibility and I'm countering. Like I'm just seeing how okay, this guy has ult, this guy has ult, this guy's gotta probably go mid. Okay, guys, let's gather up all here, and then we just see we shoot him down, then we just go somewhere else. I don't become subconscious. I become like I start thinking of everything else. But like in the other state, I also like start thinking of everything else, but my mechanics just are dog shit. Like if usually if I'm holding an angle, because of how much aim training I do, I'm like, okay, this is an easy shot. If they peek, I'm just gonna shoot them on the head. But for some reason, I'm just holding the angle, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, if you miss this, you're so dog shit. You don't even deserve platinum. And he just peeks, and I either over flick or I under flick, and I just miss, and he just shoots me in the dome.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this is half true, but like the subconscious parts, for me, I think it's a bit different.
Okay. And you think it's different because you find that you are still like there's still both are still active when one is in
Oh,
more control. Is that what you mean?
oh wait, yeah, you're right. Wait, can both of them be active at the same time?
Yeah, of course. In
Oh, okay. Well,
fact,
if that's the case, okay,
generally
okay, okay.
speaking, flow state happens when these two things work together. The thing is, though, that each of them has different jobs. So, which one do you think is the one that most likely, or which one do you think has more control or has a higher success rate in terms of mechanics?
The bottom one,
Right. Why?
because he is just not thinking. He's just playing. He's just
Right?
seeing somebody and he's just tapping him on the head.
Right? So it's not a thing. So you understand that like when you go to think and stuff like this, it's not necessarily something that you need to be doing when you're aiming. That's a bodily function. That's like a mechanic like walking. Like you don't think about walking. This is the self too that does walking, right? And it's the same when it comes to your
Oh,
mechanics, right? So you can still think I'm going to walk to the bathroom, but it's not you like you don't consciously think about each step that you're taking, each movement of your knee, You know what I mean? And the way that your arms are swinging, you just walk there. And self
Right,
2
right,
takes
right.
control over that, right? So when there's a balance here, especially when it's like in Valorant, the structure of the round is so that there's a time when you can be pondering and analyzing and thinking, and then there's a time when you can be just acting, right? So what I'm hearing a lot of from you is that you so let me think.
Take your time.
So what I hear from you is that this perfectionism that you like about yourself, it ends up turning into your first self is trying to control things that are for your second self to do, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Oh
And
crap.
and then every time you say just click, just click, just hit the shot, you trust this second self less and less, right? And then by the end of the match, you're playing like a bronze because you're not actually letting yourself play. You're trying to force yourself to play,
Holy quagamole. Oh my god, that's a good thought. That's a good thought.
right? So so another thing about this second self here is you can kind of understand it as like an inner child or a like very curious or explorative sense, right? And
Okay.
that's probably why when you're having a lot of fun and you don't have a lot of time to think about stuff, you don't have time to let this self influence this one. You're just like, you're more likely to let yourself keep playing because there isn't that pressure to perform, right? But
Hmm.
what this perfectionism does for you is although it gives, it's, we can kind of understand it as like an overactive self one.
Right.
And it's like, that's very useful if you're just thinking and planning and analyzing. But if you're trying to perform a mechanical activity like aiming or movement, or even something a little bit more complex like facing some toxicity and responding to that, your first self is not always going to be the one that knows how to deal with that properly, right? It's going to be the self too that actually gets the results that you want out of that you have to trust and let happen. Which is why
Mm.
I like to say, don't make yourself perform. It's like let yourself perform, right? Because the you in yourself is the first self, the conscious mind, and then the let yourself perform is the second one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Um,
Oh man, these are some good thoughts.
yerp. Um, now, uh, mm,
Let me give you other situations. Can
sure,
I?
go for it.
Okay, so let's say, okay. So this happens quite often. Okay, I'm just absolutely destroying the other team, and okay, so this happened. Let's say on Icebox. I'm playing Killjoy. I usually play Killjoy on Icebox. I'm absolutely just destroying the enemy team. Oh, they're peeking me this angle. I'm just tapping, and then I see him peek on the other side. I just tap him also. Oh, I'm just getting so many kills up top frag. But then there's this thought in the back of my head, like, oh wow, you're going 16-3. You're doing so well. What if one of your teammates overtake you? You're not a top frag anymore. You don't have any influence after that. And this just keeps lingering and lingering, and then I just become a little bit stressed. And then I miss a shot, and then that stress just becomes 10 times more. And then by the end of it, I'm just mid frag. Like I feel like there's this. I'm not sure what it is. Like it's this thought that I have to perform, and if I don't perform, I'm not worth a lot. Not sure how you say it, so I'm gonna be honest with you. And that's my case.
What does it feel like when you top frag?
Uh, it, okay, that's a good question, actually. It's one of these two. It either feels like it's normal, it's nothing, I just top fragged, or it feels like it's good. Okay, so it feels like it's good when I didn't top frag in a while, and When I top frag, I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's exactly what was supposed to happen.
Hmm.
Kind of hard to explain it. I'm sorry. I'm putting it in a bit of a weird situation.
No worries. Give me a moment. Let's see.
Sprite sucks. I don't like this soda. Why the hell did I open it?
Mm, mm. And what does it feel like when you drop from being top frag?
That's a good question. Well, I would be already mentally prepared for it, but when it happens, I'd be like, yep, yep, you fucked it up. You did it. Yep, see what you did?
Okay. I'm hearing that you kind of expect yourself to drop.
100%.
Do you know why?
Because I feel like I'm good enough to like surpass the plats and like the diamonds. Like I can see it like that. It feels so easy to just go in the middle of set and shooting everybody. So I'm like expecting myself to top frag every single time. Like I would go, for example, to a team deathmatch, to a deathmatch, and I would just destroy everybody with a guardian, with a sheriff, and I'm like, man, this is so easy. I'm going to destroy everybody in comp. And then I go in comp and I drop 3 and 4. No, 3 and 40 something with deaths. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Also, not it's not only like about team deathmatch. Like if I go on aim labs, my laptop is not working right now. But if I go on aim labs, there's like I don't do them all. Like you told me not to do a lot of exercises before I go into a game because I'm best at the start. But I still do a lot of practice. And by the end
Mm-hmm.
of my games, I just hop back on aim labs and I do more exercises because I want to make it as sharp as possible. And then I go to sleep, I wake up, I do it again. The exercises on aim labs. I go to school, I come back, I play, and I always do aim labs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just always expecting myself, okay, you see that little bubble over there? That's somebody's head. Oof, headshot immediately.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically it.
You said that if you don't perform, you're not worth a lot.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
because I feel like as a senti, you just put your shit on site and oh sorry, I didn't mean to swear. You just put
Okay.
all of your util you put all of your util on site and it's basically just raw mechanics and that's it. This is what gets you kills as a senti. That's what I feel like. Like as an initiator, I play a lot of Sky as well. I can just flash and the other enemy is just like the redna is absolutely destroyed. I just shoot them in the head. That's easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
As like for example, a fade. I know some lineups that if you throw on site, they're not gonna see it, and you can just shoot them through smokes, easy. But as a senti, let's say on split, I play Cypher. Yes, I have some cool like tech where like you can like make a one way with the thing, but like if I'm lurking, I'm not using any utility to just lurk. I'm doing mechanics versus mechanics, and this is why I always sharpen it, and I always like I'm ready for it, right? So when I say, uh, if I don't perform, I'm not doing well. It's me just lurking, for example, on A, and seeing a person, and I'm like, okay, I got him, I got this. If I kill him, I'm performing. My team just goes all the way on the other side, and I just have all of A side. But if I'm dead then my KD is dog shit, and I just lost that opportunity for my team to just rotate, you know?
Yes.
So that's what I mean. That's what I mean when I say if I don't perform, I'm not worth anything.
Is it because you take a lot of gunfights?
I do try to have a lot of gunfights, but sometimes I'm just sitting on site waiting for them to come.
Mm. Hmm.
Like on defense, I'm just sitting on site waiting for them. But on attack, sorry, I keep kidding. But on attack, I'm just sitting there like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna lurk on A, and I'll just fight whoever I see first, and I'll back up. I just don't say it like that.
Hmm.
Can you stop following me? Just sit down and play with like the balls or something.
Hmm.
If you need time to think about it, you can just wait. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Hmm. I'm really wondering. So the language, if I don't perform, I'm not worth a lot. Um, is it 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 sounds to me like you like constantly striving and trying to accomplish something and like constantly trying to be better a lot of the time than other people
Mm-hmm.
is the way that you prove to yourself that you're worth something.
Yeah, no, I'm talking in the sense of Valorant.
You know what
You know, like,
does that make sense though?
yeah, it does, it does. But like, I'm talking in the sense of Valorant. If I'm not performing, I'm not doing well in the Valorant game, not in real life.
I mean, you spend a lot of time playing Valorant and practicing for it.
True. 'Cause I do feel like I can. I tell you, I want to be on the big stage someday.
Hmm.
I feel like one day I'm gonna step on that and just play with five other people. And that's it's just something I'm thinking about. Like I can reach it. I can feel it. So this is why I'm actually very harsh on myself.
Wait, I don't understand. How does that connect to being harsh on yourself?
Like because I know I can do better. Each time I do a mistake, I am extremely harsh on myself. Hope you get it. It's a little bit hard for me to
So
explain it.
so you're hard on yourself when you make a mistake because you know you can do better?
Yeah,
Where did you learn that that's how you should respond to your mistakes?
it's just via myself. I'm gonna be out there. I didn't learn it from anybody. I just said to myself, okay, you made a mistake. You fucking suck. That's it.
Why would you tell yourself that you suck if you know you can do better? I don't understand. Like I understand, but at the same time, I don't like it feels like that's a very inefficient way to talk to yourself. Does that make sense?
That's a good question actually. Why do I tell myself that? It just I'm gonna be honest with you. I am conscious that this is bad, but it just happens automatically right now.
Right. Which is why I
Like I just
ask, where did you learn that? Or where did you, like, when did you start doing that and stuff like that?
okay. Well, I mean, okay. I'm just gonna tell you this. Before I was hard stuck silver for a while, and then like one random act, I just decided, you know what, fuck this, and I would drop like 30 each game, and then I just ranked from silver to plat in like one act, right?
Mm.
I think it was silver 2 to platinum 3, which was like insane for me. And this is when I actually started developing this attitude of like, oh, he's just a gold. What are you doing? And it just stuck with me. And now I just realized that it's actually very awful to think like that, but I just can't help it.
Wait, you think it, so it is hopeful?
No, it's not.
Oh, it's
I
not
do
hopeful.
believe it's bad.
I
It's like
think,
affecting me every way.
I don't know if it's not helpful, because I think it is. I think you wouldn't have done it and you wouldn't have, like, kept doing it if it wasn't helpful in some way.
Before when like the opponents were actually like AIs and bots, yes, because like they're just bots, but now they're actually like they're competent. They know how to play a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I miss a shot, they just take take full advantage of it, and like they win over me mentally and like mechanically. Stop scratching the chair. Yeah, they just win over me mentally and like mechanically speaking.
What other options do you have for talking to yourself?
Um, that's a good question. Uh, if I sound weird, but if I miss a shot to stop myself from thinking, I sometimes just like bite something. It's either like, and I don't bite like just I put my hand in my mouth and I just bite it a little bit to not
Mm-hmm.
think, which is kind of weird to say. Like it is weird, like just biting your own hand just to not think. But it does work sometimes. But after a while, your hand's just gonna. I'm playing with my hands. I'm not playing with my toes, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't really bite it forever.
Yeah. So does it like hurt a bit when you do that?
It depends on the shot. If I missed an easy shot, I'll just bite it a little bit like a baby. If he's not even looking at me and I just missed an entire mag at him and he just turned and one tapped me, yo, my finger is gonna turn red because of how hard I'm gonna bite it.
Mm-hmm. Does that distract you from it?
It mainly serves as a distraction, yes.
Distracts you from what?
From thinking about it a lot. Because if I think about it, then the thoughts of me being shit and ass will come back. And if they come back, I'll do worse, and they'll come back again, and I'll do even worse, and I'll do even worse until I just a bot in a platinum lobby. It's a very weird situation. I hope I'm explaining everything
Mm,
correctly to you.
I think you are. I think I'm just trying to find like the I'm trying to find the path of exploration that will lead you to the most success.
Okay, yeah, you can take your time with that then. That sounds like a challenge. Is that what you do every time?
Kind of, yeah.
Damn. I
Un-
wish you luck, dude. That's actually tough.
unless unless there's like a certain particular lesson that I want to encroach, or like a concept, like with the self one and self two, then I do that. But
You know, the self one and self two thing is actually an interesting thought. I never thought about it. Two people?
so I noticed that it's like you don't want to think about it, but thinking thinking in and of itself is not necessarily a painful thing that you want to avoid by like biting your hand. I'm wondering if there is an underlying emotion to the thoughts that you have when you whiff.
Underline? Hmm. I guess anger? Not sure.
Okay, word. That makes a lot of sense. Very gamer. Um,
Yeah, it's true though. Oh fuck, I dropped ketchup.
hmm. Okay. So the first thing that I'm thinking of right now is that I want to give you some other outlet for expressing that anger besides just biting your hand. So, two things. One, I think that exploring this anger could lead to you having a much better understanding of how you feel and how you work when you make mistakes and grow and stuff, as well as having an alternative to just biting your hand could protect your hand, and give you a more clear and kind of effective way of doing this. So I'm thinking like when you whiff and stuff like that, I'm thinking like you can have a notepad and you can like write about that feeling and that whiff and like what in particular about it was very frustrating for you, if anything. But also, I'm just
Huh.
thinking of something simpler like a stress ball, or when I queued rank, when I climbed to my peak, I did a lot of push-ups in between rounds and in between matches. Um,
Okay.
just because a lot of the time, anger in the body, because it's kind of like mm, not that it's inherently a violent emotion, but it's an emotion that tells us to fight something. So just like using your arms or pushing with your body in general, um, exerts a lot of that anger physically, right? Because it's an emotion that pops up in your mind and then it goes through your body, probably for you through your jaw when you bite your hand, right?
Okay.
um so I'm just thinking of those right now. I'm just thinking of like alternatives to biting yourself and methods of exploring the reactions, right? So
So,
good.
okay. So you're saying you need to explore that anger,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like I overthink everything. So what will happen is the first conscious will take over more than the second one.
And what would that be like?
That would be like, let's say we're sitting in mid and somebody on icebox, and let's say somebody goes into tube, and I just saw him, and I flicked to his head, but it's barely there, and it's just barely a miss. And I'm just like holding it for like 3 seconds, and he just turns easily and just one taps me, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of situation, I just sit there like, okay, okay, okay. So he came out of tube, right? He came out of tube. He was looking the opposite way from you. He wasn't even staring into your face. And you take that time to look at him straight in the face and shoot and keep holding the shoot button until he had enough time to look back at you slowly and one tap you. What a fucking idiot. That's basically how it would look like ish.
Okay. So it sounds so what I'm noticing is that you're describing a lot of the stuff that happened outside that caused the anger, and that makes a lot of sense because that's kind of what I described. What I'm talking about more of is what does this anger first of all, where do you feel it in your body?
Oh, that's a good question. Around my chest area ish, like above my heart.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I feel it just there, and I feel just not warm, but like a hot feeling, like if it's going to like, I don't know how to explain it, dude. Like,
It's like a
like
pressure.
a big kaboom coming out of my chest, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like the comical rage thingy.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so then I would start with like sitting with that for a minute. So just like after that match, instead of going and biting your hand, I mean you can do that or do whatever other method you want to of expressing that in a moment. But just like as soon as that happens, just like sitting there and focusing on that feeling in your chest, that like pressure, that yeah, that pressure for a moment, for a few seconds, and seeing what happens there. And then I think if you focus on that emotion there, on that anger and that physical expression of it through your body, you might, this is my guess, some thoughts will come up after it, like will follow that feeling. Like you won't try to think them, they'll come up, right? Because that's kind of how thoughts work, they just appear. Um,
Hold on. You are saying that instead of actually focusing on the situation, you want me to focus on the emotion?
Yes, so that's kind of what I was meant. So I, instead of exploring the trigger, I want you to explore your own reaction,
Interesting. That's
right?
a
Because
that's an interesting thought. Yeah.
because you can't control the fact that you're going to whiff sometimes. Your second self, no matter how much aim labs you play, does not have a 100% win rate, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
happen. Um the only part of it that you do have 100% control over is your reaction. That also requires a lot of practice and also doesn't have a 100% win rate, but like less failure plus less intense and harmful reactions equals less pain overall, right?
Reaction speed?
Not reaction speed, just reaction as in your body reacting
Oh,
to
really?
things that happen
Lots
outside.
of yeah, lots for a second.
Aim
You keep
brained.
going.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's pretty much it. Just that like your reaction to the things that happen to you is in more of your control than controlling the things that happen to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does actually.
Hmm. So I'm thinking that what would be the next step for you, because you seem to have gotten really good at controlling the external parts, right? The things that happen to you. Um, it's just that your reaction to it is starting to be a detriment. So you came to me and you were like, "Hey, Gabby, I'm so good at practicing. I'm so good at winning stuff and stuff, but whenever I try to control myself into getting a certain thing, it doesn't work." So you're good at controlling the outside world. It's just that your inside world, you don't have as much expertise over. Does that make sense?
That that does actually, yeah.
Right. So what I'm saying is go and let that thing happen. Like queue into a comp game and solo queue and get insta-log duelists and whiff all your shots. And then when all of that happens and you feel that anger bubble up inside of you, explore that and learn what that's about. Because there's a whole other part of you, a part of you that you have more control over than the external part that you haven't explored to the same degree.
I haven't even thought about it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought to myself, oh, that feeling, yeah, forget about it. It needs to go away.
Yep, it just needs to go away. You didn't think about it. So this is useful, right?
Color theory.
Close. It's an emotion wheel, right? So the anger here, we can get specific about this. So unfortunately, the anger here is awkwardly positioned, but you know, we have some different options here. So let me use this color and this one, this one, this one. There we go. So like anger, we got this, right? So this is like the base version of it. Can we get more specific here? We have rage, exacerbated, irritable, envy, disgust. So when
Okay.
you die to this mid fight, which of these is which any of these, multiple even, are you connecting to the most?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. There are a lot that I'm seeing, and I'm just like, oh hell no, that's not it, right?
Right.
Um, so when I whiff a shot, okay, it depends. If it's
Mm-hmm.
me, if I was the person that missed it, okay, it's not disgust, it's not envy.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is irritable?
Irritable. Irritable.
Irritable.
It's kind of like it says up here, annoyed and aggravated. These are the more specific versions of it. So is it like annoying?
Ish type. It's a bit annoying.
Okay, like a little bit there.
Ex- what
Exasperated, rage, right?
what is exasperated?
Um, I mean, they're all, hold on, exasperated. Let's see what the exact definition of it is, right?
Sure.
Irritation. So, you know what, dog? It's just kind of like, okay, the thing about emotions and language is that language can never be a 100% accurate depiction of your actual experience, right? Like, in no way can you use words to perfectly describe an experience that you've had at all. You just have to have the experience. So, I mean, more than anything, it's like which of these words feels right to you. And some of them, you know, like probably rage and hate and annoyed. But some of them are a little bit more off center that don't feel as right to you. It's more about
Um,
you being able to identify a vibe with a word so that you can put it in a box and be like, okay, this is what I'm feeling. It's more for you than it is for me or anyone else to understand it. Does that make sense?
yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I mean, I was gonna say rage, but then
Okay.
I looked after and I just saw hostile and hate, and I don't feel either of those.
That's all right. Well, I mean, it could just be just anger too, right? So it doesn't have to be all those specific ones. It could just be anger, rage, right? Doesn't
I'm
have
just
to
gonna say
be
annoying.
annoyed. All right.
Uh-huh.
All right, so there we go. So now we have a small list of things that you're dealing with whenever that situation pops up, right? So then again, when something like this happens, and I'm gonna make this, hold on. But it's like, we start with identify the physical emotion, right? So, or the physical reaction. So that's like that pressure in your chest. And then it's try using language to describe it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever language is accessible to you makes sense to you. It doesn't have to be this. I also like art. Like hold on. Hydrogen bomb faces.
Hydrogen bomb.
Here we go.
Friday Night Funkin'.
Hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby, right? So, oh my god, it's so big, right? So, so sometimes this is what it feels like, right? Sometimes
Sure.
some
Okay.
Valorant matches can feel like this. Maybe you're the hydrogen bomb, maybe you're the coughing baby. And like I can identify certain words that go along with this. Like the coughing baby is probably feeling helpless and the hydrogen bomb is probably feeling like powerful or like in control, right? And things like that. But more than anything, I can just look at this and be like, yeah, dude, totally me. Like I
Dude,
can just look at this and connect to it in some way. You know what I mean?
it's such a weird thought, hydrogen bomb, but then you look at the right, they just say a coughing baby. But yes, I can relate. Like, let's say I'm having a good game, I'm doing well, but we're still losing. I'm feeling like a coughing baby.
Yeah, right? That can still happen. So just like so using art, memes, whatever it is that you can like connect to and be like, this helps me understand my experience, right? Is good and useful. And then the next thing that I highly encourage you to do is like, if you want to open a notepad, um, or something like that, and just kind of write down or track or document the thoughts that appear when you're focused on this reaction that you're having, you might start to understand that like these are coming from somewhere. Does that make sense? Like they're reactions that you learned, and you know you learned it because you didn't do it at some point and then you did, you got to plat, and now you want it to stop, and you come to me because you think it's possible to stop, and you're right, right? But
Mhm.
it's that like I can't make you stop thinking that stuff. I'm not in your brain. You do that. And the only way you can do that is by understanding where they come from in the first place, right? So that means letting yourself feel those things for a moment, understanding them as much as possible, and then documenting them and reflecting on them. It's also, let's not lie, it's very difficult for you to feel those things immediately in the moment and then like diffuse them with like perfect serene mind, like your mental god, right? Like that's not
Yeah.
easy. So it's about so sometimes you have to come back to them later when you're in a calmer state of mind, right? And that's the only time you're going to be able to really understand and address them. And with practice, that'll get easier. Does that make sense?
It does, it does. I can, yeah. Yeah, okay. I like where this is going. So instead of actually trying to suppress the anger and suppressing everything, I need to explore it actually and see the origins of it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I could also try to look for some memes, some stuff like that that I can relate to
Mm-hmm.
understand myself better.
Yeah, it's art. It's stories. If you do you watch anime? It's like
Nope, I don't watch anime.
no, it's like
You look at
anime.
my profile picture. I don't watch anime.
Oh no no no, wink. All right. Um like yeah, whatever it is, like when we see characters experiencing things and expressing emotions, it's because we understand on some degree what it's like to experience that it makes sense to us. You know what I mean? Whatever
Hmm.
story they're experiencing, it's like, "Oh, I can kind of understand that." Um so like if it's this character or that character or whatever, or this story that you heard or this meme or this song or whatever it is, sometimes it's just very useful to let art help you understand yourself, especially art about things that you relate to. Like people who play sports would probably have an easier time relating to and understanding stories that are about people playing sports. You know what I mean?
Right.
right? They feel represented in that way, and it's easier for them to draw clear connections between their experiences and the experiences of this story that it's trying to articulate. So just using art to help you explore yourself, right?
Should I stop trying to be a perfectionist?
What do you think?
That's a good question.
You
Respond
asking
by
me is like,
question.
I don't. What do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah, yeah. Fair enough. Um, well, I don't find anything wrong with being perfectionist. However, the method for it, for me, is kind of awful.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't think I should stop being a perfectionist. I think it's all in my mind, dude. I need to control that shit or just like explore it a little bit more.
So absolutely, yeah. I would, as a metaphor for perfectionism, I would describe it as chasing the sun. You can,
Chasing the sun?
yeah, perfection doesn't like exist. It's not like you can't get to it. You can run towards the sun all that you want, but you're not going to ever reach the sun, but you'll go really far. Does that make sense? You're
It
still
does.
running forward very far. But if you expect yourself to reach the sun at some point, you're going to hurt yourself. That's when it's like the self harm is happening, right?
Mm.
So if you actually expect yourself to perform like a radiant today, that's very, very bad. And that's where that like very disrespectful talking to yourself is the most prominent. But if you like, if you run in the direction of the sun, if you run in the direction of perfection, and you are fine with not approaching it actually, it like in reality, of course, you're never really going to reach it, and you acknowledge that and you think and act with that in mind, then it's cool. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Mhm.
Okay. I have no idea how 50 minutes just passed. I thought this was going to be a 10-minute interview, go back and forth and leave. That's it.
No.
Did you
Usually
watch did you watch the stream that I sent you?
I tried to. It
But
didn't
something
go
happened?
through. It didn't. Oh, hold on. Is the VOD
Because
still
the
up?
dude, I think it is. I kind of raged at one of my teammates because he was like blaming me for like something that happened.
Mhm.
But no, like for example, no. For example, the dude that was streaming it, my teammate Liam. I asked him who the hell watched your stream. He's like, There's this guy. There's this guy. There's Backseat Gabi. I don't know who that person is." And then I'm like, "Wait, Backseat Gabi?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah. Do you know that person?"
Yeah. I checked it out. I put a few dinosaur emotes in the chat.
You put up you that is I wasn't watching the stream. I was locked in.
Yeah, of course you were locked in. I don't want you watching the stream. I want you locked in. Um,
Hmm. More than the game.
mhm. All right.
More than
So
the game at the same time.
I gave you a lot of tools here. So I'm going to take let's see if I can get a different one that has anger on a more, yeah, this one's fine. Um, but so let's see. I'm going to message you and I'm going to send these. Do these notes look good for you?
Give me a second. I'm gonna check it out. Oh, please let me leave it. No, not this. Hold on, wait. Okay, yeah, that does look good.
Okay, cool.
Hmm.
Now I do want to mention real quickly, I'm a Valorant coach, but this stuff might be useful outside of Valorant, believe it or not.
It
Processing
is true, man.
emotions is it's a little bit non-Valorant related, but it'll help you at Valorant, and then if that goes well, it'll help you at other stuff too.
Yeah, I did also forget to tell you. Yeah, these thoughts, they're not like, yes, they are more, what is the word? Prominent in Valorant. But like, if you, if I do anything else, I also started realizing that they're following me, bro. They're not letting me be. Like,
Yep.
I play like, for example, I play a lot of mobile like video games. Like I'm just sitting because I wait in the bus a lot. I'm just taking the bus an hour and a half to school, an hour and a half back to school, work hour and a half. So I'm just sitting on my phone a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just be playing like a competitive video game. I'm not sure if you heard of it. It's called Brawl Stars.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just be playing competitive, and these thoughts would just pop in my mind as well. And I would sometimes like it happened once where I actually, because of how much thoughts were in my mind, I actually just crashed out. And I stopped playing for like a month or so because like it was actually that awful.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
Yeah.
this is actually interesting. Yeah, no, it is true. They always come back.
You know what's cool about that?
Hmm. What's up?
That means that when you're on the bus and you're playing Brawl Stars, you can practice this.
Ah, it's true.
You can like open your notes app and Brawl Stars, and then you like play a match. And then if you get upset, you can go in your notes app and then start to explore that a little bit.
It's not as in Valorant though. Like
Right.
in
Of
Valorant,
course, it's not as potent, it's not as intense, it's not as directed, but it's still like you notice that it's the same thing. It's the same thoughts, right?
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the free trial, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I mean that was a good time with you.
Hell yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to go play some games. I'm gonna try to do that right now.
Awesome. Have fun.
You too. Are you still recording?
Yep.
Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to a new video today. Oh, I have the ice cube with me. Never mind. I'll see you next time. Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye. How do I leave this on phone?